Hello, my friends. I am Marwa. I weave, I paint, I dance, I write, I walk with plants, and I share these practices with everyone around me and tell my stories. Since I paused my first video series, I've been collecting small moments that quietly shaped me as a person. Walks in the forest, silent mornings, gatherings with people who remind me I'm here. And through all of that, I've been learning something very simple yet very life-changing. It's that every day can be designed. That everything we do, our routines, our choices, can be shaped in a way that feels good to us. And since the plan is to tell you today about the exhibition, as promised, I wanted to begin by clarifying something. So, when I said in the previous episode that the exhibition happened on my terms, I didn't mean I controlled everything. It actually meant the opposite. It was more show up, follow what pulls me, and let the rest unfold. This exhibition is simply to invite you to be part of the process with me, to notice the way things come together in ways we never plan. And it began through small choices and long stretches of curiosity. Last year, I created 7 miniature paintings. Those works absorbed years of looking, experimenting, learning, years of loving watercolor, of making pigments, of documenting traditional painting techniques. So let me take you back to the summer of 2023. I was deep in researching traditional Arabic motifs, how the old artists drew them. So I ended up practicing some of them in a small book, imagining how they might translate into my world. I was also experimenting with making my own pigments at the time. I received a beautiful handmade sketchbook as an exchange for one of my baskets. So I thought, why not create miniature paintings with a touch of fantasy? I wrote down my visions, daydreamed them, made tiny sketches. The ones I loved most became larger paintings on a bigger scale, with detailed frames, patterns, textures. It was a playground for me. And those 7 miniatures became my first exhibition in winter 2024 at Space 13 in Beirut. This year, I felt pulled toward abstraction, pigments, raw textures, and salt making its own path. At first, I resisted. Abstraction was always something I kept for myself, like a private emotional language. But then I felt like my eyes needed this strong presence of colors, the space. I thought, what if each miniature had an abstract twin? A painting that held its emotional landscape. Suddenly, it felt right. That's how the exhibition title, Ways of Seeing, came. Because it became about different forms of interpretation. The clear, material, illustrated world, and the softer, more emotional world beside it. And by the way, only later I found out that Ways of Seeing is actually the name of a book and a documentary series by John Berger. It was all following small callings. That's where the confidence came from, being close to what I love and letting that be enough. From letting the making guide me, and the other way around. After all, everything aligned more beautifully than anything I could have forced into shape. Of course, I was very nervous before the opening day, but I didn't let that stand in the way. Also in 2023, I painted a gouache painting of a girl emerging out of a swamp. I called it Emergence. It was a representation of me emerging out of a difficult phase. So I submitted it to this gallery space called Culture Nest for a collective exhibition, and they accepted it. That place stayed in my head. And then I simply asked, what does it take to show my work here? The answer, more possible than I imagined. From that moment, things moved in layers, each one arriving exactly when it needed to. We set a date, I prepared prints, postcards, stickers from my sketchbooks. I brought my pigments, tools, the herbal mixtures I use when I make paint. I wanted people to feel the world behind the paintings. I want to mention Michelle and Pamela, the lovely ladies who run the gallery. They were so easy to work with, light, calm, and always open to things falling into place naturally. Something about our way of working together just clicked. And that connection is actually what made it easy for me to hold this exhibition, keep my pieces in their concept store, and continue collaborating with them. Another beautiful connection was with Aya, who offered to create a singing bowl corner in the exhibition, playing a grounding frequency. It meant a lot to me because I wanted a sound element but didn't know what exactly. And my friend Najah carried the aromatic element of the exhibition so gracefully, lighting an oil lamp, shifting the scents in the space, and supporting my intention to make the experience immersive and sensory on every level. Later, I added the herbal tea bag making, sage, thyme, and rose that we brought from the south of Lebanon, as a small gesture of honoring the resilience of its land and its people. My friend Z, who brought the herbs from her village, rearranged her trip to India so she could help with the setup and attend the opening. Her presence with me made me less nervous and everything more fun and light. My partner and his family celebrated with me as if it was their own, supporting every step I made. I also want to give a special shout out to my amazing sister. Even though she couldn't make it to the exhibition, she still chose to be part of it from afar and made the entire floor plan for the show. She helped me decide where each painting should go, how it fits with the room, and honestly, that was incredibly helpful when we were hanging the works on the walls. So even from a distance, she was blissfully present with me. She actually started her YouTube channel not so long ago. I'll link in the description. Her work is so unique, leans more toward architectural and geometrically accurate motifs, and we keep inspiring each other in our own ways. The exhibition for me wasn't just to give my art the recognition it deserves. It was also a constellation of the people I love, all showing up at the right moment. This exhibition didn't start in 2023. It actually began years ago, when I first joined art school and realized that my work needed a home. A cozy corner for paints and papers and ideas. And that space, through small steps, was slowly growing, a layered building. My shrine is what allowed this exhibition to happen. When I walk into my cozy, crafty, creative space now, I can actually feel like my imagination is arranged out there in the room in a way that comforts me, that includes me, that feels like it's telling its own stories. A well-organized studio wasn't something I just had. It's something that was built with help and love of many amazing people around me. And through so many visions I had to let go of to make room for better ones. It keeps evolving the same way I do. So happy I took you with me today through all the layers I move through when planning something. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.